Here are the 4 reasons why you probably won't achieve your dreams in life or the goals that you've set out before you, right? Now, why is this important? We go through life, we set goals and we hit them. Some goals we don't hit, then we set new ones and new dreams and aspirations. It's really important to understand why we're not hitting them, right? Once we know why we're not hitting them and why things aren't really happening the way we want them to happen, we can then focus and readjust our attention and our action and our thinking in a way which actually helps us and allows us to move in the right direction, right? So one of the key reasons why we don't actually go out there and achieve our dreams is because we don't understand that the path to our destination, to our desired outcome or to our dream isn't straight. We have it in our mind that it's just this straight line that you walk from point A to point B and bang, you're there, right? In reality, there are so many windy, bendy turns on this path of life that you really can't account for. You just have no idea where life is going to go, right? And you just have to get to a point where we can trust that process, that this windy, bendy road is going to get us there. It leads me to my second point, which is actually we give up too soon. We expect things to happen faster, you know? We start a business and we expect that with the next 12 months, we're making 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, right? Now, for some people, that may be the case. For others, it may not be reality, right? And because of that, we just give up too soon. We don't see the numbers that we desire. We don't hit the same revenue targets as this other person, or we're not quite at this chapter where we expected ourselves to be at. Therefore, oh, this must not be for me. Let's try something else, right? There's something to be said about just sticking to your guns and just sticking to a path long enough to see it come to pass, right? There's something to be said about consistency and just being persistent to a path, just sticking to it, right? In this digital age of social media and technology, everything is about now. And when we don't see the results now, we don't see the results within a month, 2 months, you know, we throw the towel in, be like, well, you know, let's just try something else. The third thing stopping us from reaching our dreams and hitting our goals is we're stuck in fear mode. And mostly today, the fear is actually driven by what other people think, right? We're just so immersed within social media that a lot of the pressures come externally, right? And we think, oh, you know, we have to be perceived a certain way, or what if I fail in front of others? I don't really want to show them what I really think, or we have all these thoughts that are about others, which are really motivated by fear because we just care too much about what other people think. And the truth is, people actually don't really care about you. I know for myself, I've gone through that as well. I've thought in the past, I've got to be perceived a certain way, I've got to sound a certain tone, and if I'm not, you know, people are going to think I'm this, or I'm unprofessional, or I'm this, or I'm that, right? And it's just not true. People have their own problems in their lives. People have their own issues that they're dealing with. They're trying to work it out for themselves, right? So don't even bother about that. The fourth reason why you probably won't achieve your dreams and your goals is you haven't associated a big enough reason to achieving that goal or achieving that dream. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll tell you a little story. I used to smoke cigarettes I was smoking cigarettes in high school. I was addicted, and by the age of like 23 or 24 it was, I decided to quit. And a lot of people said, oh, how did you quit? And I said, I quit cold turkey. One day I just woke up and I said, no more. And a lot of people say, oh, that's so hard. How did you do that? How did you go from smoking full time to being cold turkey quick? And the reason why it was so easy for me to quit is I associated a really strong reason with it. And the reason was, I got told by somebody, he said something along the lines of, I can't remember it word for word now, but he said something along the lines of, if you can't control something, like a habit or a trait or a thought process, it has power over you and has the ability to stop you. And I remember thinking, wow, so as an example, if I can't control my eating, or if I can't control my consumption of a particular substance, then it has the power over me. And just that thought of something having the power over me, that was enough for me to be like, hell no, I am not going to let this thing win over me. So my reason was big. I'd go out to parties and I'd go out with friends and I'd have a bit of alcohol and I'd go to drink and I'll drink, and then when it comes time to usually wanting to have a cigarette, my reason was big enough in my mind, therefore I didn't smoke. It's the same thing with our dreams and our goals. We need to assign a big enough reason so when the times get tough, when we get lazy and we get stagnant and we start procrastinating, our reason is big enough to cause us to take action. So let's recap on that. The road is bendy and windy for a reason. It's because there are lessons that we need to learn today in this current chapter that you're in now that are required in the next chapter. And we won't move to that next chapter in our life until we master this now, right? As an example for myself, I used to work in an abattoir. For 3 years straight, I was working in an abattoir where we used to kill cows and lambs every day. And what I learned from that was, for 3 years, I learned hard work. That's really what I took away from that. And that is a lesson that I've taken from that chapter that was definitely required in this chapter. I'd have to wake up every single morning, rain, hail, or shine, at 5:30 to be at the abattoirs by around 6:15, and we'd be on the kill floor by 6:30 in the morning. And it would be freezing some mornings. We'd have a really thin shirt, or just a thin top, with long pants, all white, with a plastic apron and our knives, and would get stuck into work, right? And you know, we had hoses going, and it would be cold because there's a lot of air passageways, like air flows through the kill floor. It's really windy, and in winter, it's really hard work. You eventually warm up, but I learned that I just gotta show up every morning, get stuck into things, and soon it'll be over. We'll get to the end, right? Whether we like it or not, sometimes got to go through it. And that's what I learned in that chapter. And in my mind, when I was there for those 3 years, I knew that one day I would be running a video agency. And lo and behold, I'm here running a video agency. My path definitely wasn't straight to my video agency. I've gone for a few windy roads, but I accepted that. So with yourself, it might be a few turns. Embrace those turns, embrace those pivots, embrace all those little bends, because there may be a lesson there that you need in your next chapter. Now, with giving up too soon, just remove the time frame. Like, time frames are good. Time frames are good, but sometimes we may desire the outcome so much that we forget that the journey is actually where it's at, right? So I'll give you an example. I watched a documentary about a film crew who spoke about their journey towards making a movie and getting it featured on Netflix for the first time. And they went through the process of making their movie, and it came down to it, to the actual premiere, and he was sitting there watching his movie about to be premiered the first time on Netflix, and he was sitting there surrounded by his family. And he was expecting like this just amazing feeling of watching his work on the screen. And he said he watched it, it came on screen, it premiered, and he was like, oh yeah, that wasn't too bad, and that was it. Right, the feeling just kind of came and then it went, and he was kind of thinking, sitting there thinking to himself, oh, is that it? All that for that? And that's when he realized that the reward was actually the journey. It was going through those strategy meetings. It was going through long days of filming, being able to create something together with the team. It was the journey towards that destination, right? And yes, we want that outcome to happen. But if we can find things along the way that we can embrace and be thankful and love and enjoy along the way, it's gonna make that journey a whole lot better and a whole lot easier. What's there to be said about if we're stuck in fear mode, right? If we're stuck about thinking about what other people think too much, or we may be too much in our head, we're procrastinating, start small and start easy, right? Just start getting into a productive pattern. Be it cleaning your office, cleaning your room, reading a new book, listening to a new podcast. Just do the 1%ers behind the scenes. You can even disconnect yourself from social media. Just give yourself a social media detox so you stop, being bombarded by other people's lives, and just focus on what you need to do and start taking small steps, right? So just start small, start easy, right? Don't put on too much expectations, because there's a lot of little steps in this journey. So just take one step at a time, and that's going to create new thinking patterns in your mind, right? Because things are changing. Then take action from that place. And don't forget to associate big reasons with your goals. There's a reason why you're trying to achieve these goals. Bring those reasons into mind. One of the things that inspire me to continue to take action is because I want to inspire people to be their best selves and go for their dreams, to go for that, that big audacious goal that they have, because it can be done. If other people are doing it, it means it's available. So find a reason big enough for you that it inspires you, because the truth is we will get lazy, we will have our off days, we will encounter a lot of failures and difficulties, right? And in those moments we need a reason to get back up. We need a reason to get back up and create momentum again. So I hope they help. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and if you've got some other tips, please drop them. I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the YouTubey things, as Myron Golden says, and I'll see you in the next one.